Hey everyone, welcome to Firefly and the Willow Yoga, and welcome to week 2 of our Yoga Foundations series. In today's class, we will practice many of the same poses that we did last week, as well as adding an additional balance pose. For today's class, you might like to have a chair available, maybe a wall that you can use for balance, plus a block and a strap. So take a moment, gather what you need, and I'll see you on the mat. I invite you to come on down to your mat with me today. And just allow yourself to sit up nice and tall. Maybe let your eyes close down or your gaze soften down toward the floor. We're going to take the hands and interlace them in front of the chest, pressing the palms out and away as we inhale, letting those shoulders drop back down the back, and then exhale, fingertips dropping down. Let's do that twice more. Inhaling, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms out and away, opening the chest. Exhale, fingers rain down. And one last time. Inhaling, pressing those palms out and away. Holding it here. Nice big inhale at the top, really stretching up tall. And then exhale, fingers rain down. Good. Let's come on to our hands and knees for tabletop. So find your way into your tabletop here. All 10 fingers pointing forward. And we're going to come into some cat-cows here. So just let your belly relax. Tailbone rotates up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, pressing the floor away, pulling the belly button into the spine. And just move here at the speed of your own breath. Maybe you even find some other natural movement here that feels good. Just waking up the body, waking up the spine. Maybe you've been going around in your busy day, or maybe you've been seated at a desk all day. Either way, just getting some movement into that spine. Coming through another couple of breaths here. And then we'll meet back in our neutral tabletop position. We'll walk the hands, a couple of handprints out in front. We're going to roll those toes under in the back and slowly bring those hips up. And you can pedal out the feet here, maybe even move from side to side a little. Just finding what feels good in this downward facing dog. Again, not taking too seriously here whether or not the heels come to meet the floor. Just feeling into your body. Allowing yourself to anchor down through your hands, through the balls of your feet. Feel the floor that supports you here. Feel your way into your foundation. And now let's inhale up to the toes. We'll bend the knees as we exhale, really rotating that tailbone up towards the ceiling, pressing into that foundation again, pressing into those hands. And then as an exhale, allow the heels to relax down any amount towards the mat. Bending the knees slightly, taking the gaze forward. We'll walk the feet up towards the hands. And inhale up halfway here, maybe bringing the hands to the shins or maybe even up to the thighs. And then exhaling back into our forward fold, letting the crown of the head relax down toward the floor. You can bring your block around to underneath your hands if you like, or you can take a ragdoll. Just flow a little from side to side here.
Again, really sensing the floor underneath your feet here, your mat, the way you're supported, the way you're anchored. And then allow your hands to release back down toward the floor. Maybe invite yourself into the balls of your feet just a little. And then once again, anchoring into all four corners of the feet, bending the knees slightly here. We'll inhale to come all the way up. Hands can come up overhead. Gaze can follow the hands if you like or not. It's up to you. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Take just a moment here for one deep cleansing breath. And release. If you brought that block along with you, you can shift that back out of the way to begin our flow for today. This is a similar flow to the one that we practiced last week. So bring yourself again to your nice stable Tadasana here. We're going to take the hands to the hips and again take them around just a little slightly behind the hips here so that you can really feel how the hips are positioned in space. From here, we'll take a big step back with the right foot, bringing that left knee right over the ankle and hugging those thighs into the midline. You can keep your hands right here if you like, really feeling that pull back on the left hip and press forward on the right, anchoring down through that right heel, nice strong back leg. And if you like, you can inhale the arms up overhead, going up nice and tall, knitting those lower ribs in and opening the shoulders back, sinking them back and down the spine into the back pockets. Nice big deep breath here. And exhale. On our next inhale, we're going to extend through that front leg, bringing the hands around behind, bumping the fists together. And then on your next exhale, sinking forward from the hip crease, taking the gaze to that left big toe. And holding here, pulling back through the left hip, pressing forward through the right. I see my friend Oscar has come to visit. Hi, Oscar. And now from here, we'll bend into that front leg, inhaling as the arms come up overhead, back into our warrior one. And from here, a nice inhale. And as we exhale, opening up warrior two. Again, you can adjust your stance here if you like, or leave that back foot planted slightly in front of the front. That's okay. Taking the gaze gently over the front fingertips, rolling these thighs back. Might even take your hands and just rotate the thighs back. Feel how that brings your weight into the outside edges of your feet. On our next exhale, we'll drop that front elbow to the knee and then inhale the arm up and overhead, bringing the bicep next to the ear, stretching out nice and long through that side body. And then inhaling up to reverse triangle. And exhale, hands come down halfway. If you have your block handy now, you can bring that right in behind that front foot. And we're going to shift the hips out to the side here, really tucking this front hip up and underneath the body and then reaching out as far as you can. Allow that hand to fall down to the block. Now, if you feel your upper body collapsing forward, keep it up a little higher, not putting pressure on the knee. You can always go down a little further or come up just a little bit. Imagine here that you can rotate those lower ribs up towards the ceiling just a little more. And engaging everything, anchoring down through those feet. We'll inhale to come up. And then sweep that back hand back to the front as we come back to stand in our Tadasana. You might like to take your block and place it on the other side of your mat now as we prepare to do our flow on the other side. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come back down to the hips, a little bit behind the hips. Cinching in those belly muscles, we're going to take a big step back with the other foot this time. Anchoring down through that left heel, pressing forward through the left hip, pulling back with the right, bringing that right knee right over the ankle. And then when you're ready, inhaling, arms come up overhead. And this time on your exhale, if you like to, open the chest up towards the ceiling a little, introducing a little bit of a back bend here. You're welcome to do that. Inhaling to come up. And then exhaling, we'll bring the hands around behind, straightening through that front leg, bumping the fists together. Taking a nice big deep breath here, growing tall. And then exhaling, leaning forward over that front leg, taking the gaze to the big toe. And if you find your toes gripping here, allow them to release. The toes be soft, just pressing down through the base of the toe, not gripping with the whole toe. Pulling back through this right hip. You can bring your hands down to the block if you like, or leave them behind. And then when you're ready, bending into that front knee, we'll inhale the arms up and back. And then open up, coming into our warrior two on this side. So adjusting your stance if you like, sinking those shoulders down the back. Once again, rotating those thighs out, taking the weight into the outside edges of the feet. Inhaling here, and on your next exhale, lowering that elbow to the knee, and then inhaling the arm up and over the ear, stretching out through the fingertips, already rotating those lower ribs up towards the ceiling. And then on our next inhale, we'll sweep that front arm up and back as we extend through the front leg. Coming back to the breath. You got this. Inhale, arms come down halfway. Shifting the hips out to the side, tucking that hip up and under the body, really reaching out. And dropping that hand down to a block or to your shin or maybe to the floor. And imagining that there's a wall behind you and that you're bringing your hip and your shoulder to meet that wall. Rotating that lower rib cage up towards the ceiling. And then anchoring down in order to reach up. So feeling your foundation in those feet. Inhale all the way back up. And then bring the back hand forward and come to Tadasana. Great job. You can move that block out of the way. And then from our Tadasana, we'll inhale to bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale, sweeping the arms down, coming into forward fold. Inhale up halfway, hands come to shins or thighs, nice long flat back here. And then extending out of this nice long spine, sinking forward, forward fold. We'll plant both hands here and step the feet back, coming back to downward facing dog. And you might pedal the feet out here once again. We'll bring the big toes to touch. We're going to allow the knees to come out wide on the mat and then sink the hips back, coming into child's pose. If you prefer to keep the knees closer together for a little bit more of a lower back stretch here, I invite you to give that a try. Or if there's some other variation of child's pose that works best for you, you can use that here. We'll use our inhale to carry us up out of this position, rolling the toes under and coming back into downward facing dog. Really reaching that tailbone up towards the sky, anchoring down through the hands, rotating the eyes of the elbows forward. Bending the knees, we'll take the gaze forward and walk the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release into your forward fold. And inhale all the way up to stand. Bringing your hands to heart center. We're going to come now into our second balance pose for the day. So come back to your wall, or maybe get your chair. And this pose we're going to practice is called Hasta Pandangustasana, or hand to big toe pose. So we're going to use a strap to make this pose more accessible. So you can bring your chair close to your left hip again so that your left hand can balance on top. And we're going to take this strap and make it a loop and loop it around this right foot. And then use the strap here to bring the right foot up and out in front. Now, if this feels stable and secure for you and you feel like you'd like some more sensation, you can remove the strap, taking that the right toe in the hand and extending the right heel out, gripping the fingers with the toe and the toe with the fingers. Nice long straight spine. And then maybe opening out to the side. Focusing on the breath. And then bring that foot back around in front. And slowly release it down to the floor. Take a moment here to shake that out. And then we'll take the chair to the other side and do this on the other side. So I'm going to show this on the other side with the strap. Taking the strap in a loop, we'll find our balance on the chair, bringing that loop around the left toes this time, and then bringing that left leg up, pressing out through the heel, standing up nice and straight. If you need to take a different grip, you can always wrap that strap around the hand just a little. Grounding down through the feet, anchoring down, and then opening out to the side. Feel free to play with your balance here. If you like to challenge your balance a little more, you can. Or feel free to use your chair, use your wall, whatever you need to use. We'll inhale to bring that leg back in front. And then let it slowly release with an exhale. Great job. That's not an easy pose. All right, bringing our chair back out of the way now. We'll come back to the top of the mat. And again, roll the shoulders back, coming back into our Tadasana, opening the chest. Maybe giving ourselves a little smile, just taking a moment here to notice what the body feels like after practicing that pose. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, sweeping down into our forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, releasing back down. Stepping the feet back, planting both hands, downward facing dog. And then we'll bring the knees down to the mat. And come back to sit on the heels, bringing the tops of the feet down to the mat. Rolling the shoulders back, nice straight spine. Just feeling that little stretch down the front of the shins here. If you're getting enough sensation, Keep it right here. Otherwise, if you would like to deepen that sensation a little, you can bring the hands back slightly behind the hips and just roll the knees up slightly, stretching through the tops of the feet, stretching down the front of the calves. If you're not used to stretching this muscle very much, this can be really intense. So please just take it at your own pace. And now rolling back forward, we'll plant the hands, widen the knees, and again shift the hips back, coming back into child's pose. A couple of breaths here. Letting our breath bring us back into this moment. And then again, we'll use that breath to inhale up from child's pose. We're going to shift over and come back to our comfortable seat, Sukhasana. As always, if this position doesn't work for you, you're welcome to sit up on your heels or maybe even on the edge of a chair. So we're going to come into Gomukhasana arms now. So I invite you to take your strap and place it over your right shoulder. We'll inhale to bring the arms open wide. And then we're going to bring that right hand in between the shoulder blades, grasping the strap, and the left hand around behind, pulling the strap away, lifting the chin slightly, sitting up nice and tall, and see if you can bring that upper elbow to point straight up at the ceiling. Take an inhale here, and as we're exhaling, we'll twist a little toward the right, toward our lifted arm. And then inhale back to center and slowly release. Good. Taking the strap over the left shoulder now. We'll inhale the arms open wide. Taking that left hand in between the shoulder blades and allowing the right hand to join it on the strap, or maybe interlacing the fingers here. Again, sitting up nice and tall, anchoring down through those sits bones, feeling the stability of the earth beneath us, of our mat as it supports us. And then allowing that to release. We'll let those arms unwind. Oh, we forgot to take our twist on this side. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms come open wide. Exhale, left hand between the shoulder blades. Right hand meets it. And now we'll take our little twist. Opening over toward the left side, toward the left side. Inhale here, grow nice and tall. And then coming back to center, releasing the hands and allowing that to release. And coming back to Sukhasana. I'm going to use the hands to close the legs now and come back around onto the back, bringing the knees into the chest, holding on underneath the knees or maybe on the shins, rocking from side to side just a little bit. And then allow the soles of the feet to find the floor as we bring the hands to rest, palm down next to the hips, toes and knees facing forward here. We'll inhale to bring the hips up, lifting the chin slightly as we come into our bridge pose. Remaining here for just a moment, coming back to the breath. And then on your next exhale, begin to slowly release down to the floor. And now we'll take that bridge pose again. So again, taking those hands next to the hips, inhaling, pressing down through all four corners of the feet, keeping those knees facing forward. And if you like, you can walk the shoulder blades up underneath the back here, maybe interlacing the fingers, lifting the chin, opening the chest, feeling the strength in the legs. Holding it here for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly beginning to unwind and release everything. Coming back down to the floor. Good. We're going to come up to Dandasana now, so you can choose to roll to one side and come up to seated, or if you like, you can grasp the outsides of the feet and roll up to a seated position. Stretching the legs out long in front, we'll take our strap again. And this time, we'll bring that strap around the balls of both feet, taking one strap in each hand, rolling the shoulders back, open chest, sitting up nice and tall, feeling the sits bones as they connect with the floor. And then exhale, sinking forward, allowing the knees to be soft. In fact, the knees can be quite bent in this pose if that's what works best for you. Just looking for that sensation down the back of the leg. So do what feels good. You might make this dynamic. Inhale and exhale, releasing and deepening. And if you prefer not to use the strap, you can drop that at any time. Maybe grasping the shins or the ankles, maybe even reaching out for the toes. And then we'll all release, rolling back up and bringing the knees back to the chest. Rolling that out one more time. And bringing the knees out wide, feet coming to the outside edges of the mat. We're just going to gently begin to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And you can make this a little bigger and a little bigger until finally you allow the knees to fall over to one side. You can open the arms out, or maybe bring them to cactus arms if you're a little short on space, as I am. If it feels good for you here, you can take one ankle and put it over top of the knee and then look out over the opposite shoulder. If you feel any discomfort in the lower back here, just allow those legs to remain unbound. And when you're ready, if you did find that bind, allow that to release. Once again, we'll begin this slow windshield wiper from side to side until finally we allow the legs to fall over to the other side. And then take the gaze over the opposite shoulder. Maybe take the ankle on top of the knee. Or maybe you need a little extra support in this pose. You can also use a blanket or some blocks underneath the knees. And then if you took the bind, allow that to release. Slowly windshield wiper the legs back up. And then we'll bring the knees back into the chest one last time, rolling out through that lower back just a little, reaching through the knees, grasping the big toes or the outsides of the feet, maybe trying to bring the elbows to the insides of the knees, soles of the feet. Come up towards the ceiling. And if you find yourself straining in the neck or shoulders, you can always support yourself with a pillow or a blanket or even a block. Find a little movement here if you like. And then we'll allow the soles of the feet to find each other and bring ourselves into our last pose today, Shavasana, the integration of our practice. And as you stretch yourself out into your final pose today, just bring your attention to all the places that your body is being supported by the floor. Maybe the backs of the legs, the heels, the elbows, the upper back, the back of the head. Feel how these points of contact anchor you to the earth, solidly supporting you in this moment. And then allow your attention to come to your breath. Noticing how your breath is also an anchor. Breathing only happens in the here and the now. So allow your breath to anchor you into this present moment, your present experience, as you continue to rest here in stillness and silence. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, taking a deep breath, stretching your arms out overhead and your legs out long. Find any natural movement here that feels good. And then gently roll yourself over to one side, cradling your head on your arm. Maybe take a nice deep breath. And then when you're ready, press yourself back up to a seated position. You can bring your hands to heart center if you like, or just allow your hands to cover your heart. The quote I have to end our practice today is an anonymous one on anchors. Anchors remind us that when life's winds blow and seas get stormy, we all do best when tied to something solid and true. I hope that your yoga is solid and true, and may your yoga follow you off the mat. Knees pointing forward, palms of the hands on the floor. Hello, Oscar. I'm getting nice kisses from the doggie. Uh-oh. Come on, Oscar. Hi, Oscar. All right. And so from here, Oscar. Okay. You can't be here right now, Oscar.